Everything you believe about separation is an illusion. You've been taught to see yourself as a fragmented, single note in the orchestra of existence, isolated, disconnected, fragile. But that's a lie, a beautiful, convincing lie that has kept you from your power. Because the truth is, you were never alone, not for a second, not in your birth, not in your breath, and not in your becoming. Something ancient moves through you, something the mystics knew, the sages whispered, and now science is beginning to remember. You are not just a body, you are not just a mind, you are a field, a conscious, vibrating field of energy interwoven with everything, and I mean everything. Every star you've wished upon, every tear you've ever cried, every heartbeat echoing across this blue planet is connected, not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. This connection, what some call the divine matrix, others the Akashic field, has a name in science: quantum entanglement. Two particles, born together, become entangled. And no matter how far they drift apart, be it inches or galaxies, when one is touched, the other responds instantly. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. He couldn't explain it, not fully, because it defied time, it defied space, it defied logic, but it didn't defy the truth. And the truth is, everything is one. Let me offer you a vision. Picture this: two identical dice. You hold one, a stranger holds the other. You're thousands of miles apart. You roll yours, it lands on 6. And theirs, without delay, 6. Again, 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 until you can't deny it. There's an invisible string connecting the twain, unfelt but real. Now replace the dice with your thoughts, your emotions, your intentions. What if the energy you send ripples outward, not metaphorically, but measurably altering the fabric of reality around you? You might ask, why haven't I seen this? Because you were trained not to look. You were taught to worship surface, to ignore the silence beneath the sound. But silence is where the secrets live. And the greatest secret? You are not just in the universe. The universe is in you. Your heart emits an electromagnetic field thousands of times stronger than your brains. This has been proven not by mystics, but by scientists at the HeartMath Institute. Your emotional state radiates out like waves from a stone dropped in a still pond. When you feel gratitude, your field becomes coherent. When you feel fear, it fragments. But in either case, your field is always speaking to people, to patterns, to probabilities, to the fabric of space-time itself. You are influencing more than you can ever see, which is why you must become conscious of what you are broadcasting. You see, the subconscious mind is not just a container of memories. It's a transmitter, a living algorithm of belief and vibration programmed long before you were aware enough to question it. Before age 7, your brain is a sponge, operating in theta waves. This is the frequency of hypnosis, of deep suggestion. And it is in this vulnerable state that you received the world's greatest lie, that you are separate, that you are small, that you must struggle to survive. But what if you weren't born broken? What if you were conditioned to believe you were? Because a being who believes in its separation is easy to control, easy to manipulate, easy to sell, to sedate, to silence. But a being who knows it is entangled with all that is, that being becomes unstoppable. That's what this journey is about. Not just information, but transformation. This is a remembrance, a reactivation, a sacred decoding of your forgotten design. You were never meant to crawl through this life. You were meant to resonate, to emit, to shift the field around you by the clarity of your frequency. You've heard the phrase, as within, so without. It's not just poetic, it's quantum. Your internal state is entangled with your external reality. When you vibrate fear, the field responds with resistance. When you emit certainty, the field rearranges itself in your favor. This is not about magical thinking. This is about energetic mastery. This is about reclaiming the technology of your own consciousness. And it starts with awareness. Take a breath. Not the shallow breath of survival, but the deep, sacred inhale of someone who's just remembered they're alive. Because from this point forward, you will not see your thoughts as random. You will not see your emotions as fleeting. You will not see your mind as separate from the miracle. You will remember that you are the miracle, the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the observer and the observed, the vibration and the vessel. And when you understand the entangled nature of reality, when you see that your consciousness is not just influenced by the field, but shaping it, you will begin to walk differently. Not in arrogance, but in alignment. Not in fear, but in frequency. You are not here to chase miracles. You are here to generate them from within. And this is just the beginning. Now, close your eyes and imagine this. You're standing in a vast, silent void. There is no time here, no past, no future, only presence. And before you, floating in this space, are two particles, tiny, infinite, waiting. They are born together, twins in the cosmic womb, and then, without warning, they are torn apart. One flung across the universe, the other sent in the opposite direction, light years between them, entire galaxies. And yet somehow they remain connected. What happens to one instantly happens to the other. No signal, no travel, no delay. This is not science fiction. This is science fact. It is called quantum entanglement, and it shatters every idea you've been given about how reality works. When Einstein encountered this concept, he resisted it. He called it spooky action at a distance, unable to reconcile it with his framework of relativity. But the universe doesn't care what we believe. It simply is. In 1935, the EPR paradox was born. Einstein, Podolsky, and Rosen, proposing that entanglement would violate everything we thought we knew. But decades later, in 1982, physicist Alain Aspect and his team proved the impossible. They showed that when two entangled photons are separated, a change in one instantly affects the other faster than the speed of light. Do you feel what that means? Faster than light. Faster than anything that can move. Faster than anything that can be measured. As if distance no longer exists. As if the entire universe is just one organism, stretched across a canvas of illusion. And when you poke one side, the other twitches not because you touched it, but because they were never truly separate to begin with. This isn't just a phenomenon of particles. It's a blueprint of consciousness, a reflection of your own life. Have you ever thought of someone and they called, felt a shift in your heart, and minutes later, something in your reality changed? Dreamed of an outcome and found yourself walking right into it? This isn't coincidence. It's coherence. Your thoughts, your emotions, your inner world. They are not confined within your skull. They are fields, waves, vibrations that interact with the quantum fabric all around you. Because here's the secret most still don't understand. Entanglement isn't limited to electrons. It lives in everything made of energy. And what are you, if not energy made conscious? This is where science bows to spirit, where the microscope meets the mantra, because when we look close enough, we find the divine. Your mind does not live in your brain. Your emotions do not live in your chest. Your memories, your dreams, your sense of purpose, they extend into an energetic realm that modern physics is only beginning to perceive. This is the realm the ancients called prana. The Taoists called it qi. The mystics called it the light body. And today, we call it the quantum field. It is the subtle current behind all things, the silent web that links not just particles, but possibilities. And it responds not to your words, but to your vibration. You felt it before even if you didn't have a name for it. That electric pull towards someone across a room. That undeniable knowing before something happens. That feeling of alignment when life flows and obstacles melt away. This is not random. It is resonance. You are entangled not just with people, but with paths, with timelines, with outcomes, with everything you've ever wanted and everything you've ever feared. And that's where your true power begins, not in forcing life, but in tuning yourself to the frequency of what you desire. Because in this field, like attracts like. Not in some shallow law of attraction cliché, but in the physics of wave collapse. The quantum field responds to the observer, but not just any observer, the one who observes with emotion, with conviction, with certainty. When your thoughts are scattered, the field is noisy. When your energy is dissonant, your life is chaotic. But when you become a clear signal, when your subconscious, your intention, and your vibration align, you begin to collapse potential into reality. Your very attention becomes the architect. You're not here to chase reality. You're here to create it. But to do that, you must first understand what part of you is doing the creating. Because here's the twist: your conscious mind, the one listening now, It's only responsible for 5% of your daily life. The rest is subconscious. A silent architect built by your childhood, by your traumas, by the beliefs you inherited long before you knew what belief even was. This part of you, this deep mind, is the one vibrating, the one emitting. It is your signal, and like those twin particles, it is still entangled with everything you've ever believed to be true. Every story you've told yourself, every identity you've accepted, every limitation you've agreed to. But just as quantum entanglement shows us that distance is an illusion, so too is time. The subconscious doesn't know past or future. It only knows now, which means the moment you change your signal truly, deeply you change the field, and the field responds. This is how miracles happen, not from outside, but from within. So take this in. You are not a victim of your life. You are the frequency it responds to. And if your subconscious is still vibrating with fear, with shame, with scarcity, then that is what the field will echo back. But if you begin to reprogram, if you begin to feel, not hope, not wish, but feel what it means to be whole, to be abundant, to be free, then the field rearranges. The probabilities shift. The paths open. Because at the quantum level, you're not separate from what you want. You are entangled with it. The only question is, are you vibrating in harmony with its frequency? Or are you blocking the signal with doubt? The field is listening, right now, not to your thoughts, but to your vibration. So, what are you truly emitting? Beneath your waking thoughts, beneath the voice in your head that analyzes, compares, and calculates, there is another voice. Quieter, older, constant. It is the voice of your subconscious mind, not a part of you, but the deepest part of you. It is the current beneath the surface of the river, the shadow behind the light, the silent hand turning the wheel of your reality. And whether you realize it or not, this part of you is always speaking, not in words, but in frequency. This is the true transmitter, the hidden broadcaster. While you say, "I want to be wealthy," your subconscious may still be humming the frequency of lack. While you visualize love, your deep mind might be anchored in the pain of abandonment. While you affirm confidence, a buried memory might be echoing, "You're not enough." And so, the field neutral, responsive, listening echoes not what you say, but what you are. You felt this tension, that pull between what you consciously want and what keeps showing up. It's not bad luck. It's not fate. It's programming. From the moment you were born, maybe even before you were absorbing patterns, beliefs, emotions, you came into this world as an open frequency, and the world filled you with its own static. A parent's fear became your fear. A teacher's limitation became your ceiling. A society's shame became your silence. Not through logic, but through repetition, through energy, through emotion. Because before the age of 7, your brain isn't operating in beta, waves the waking, analytical state. It's in theta, the same brainwave state used in deep hypnosis, the state between dreaming and waking, the realm where suggestion becomes reality. And so, you didn't just learn your beliefs, you became them. I'm not good enough. Life is a struggle. Money is hard to earn. I must earn love. I'm not safe to be seen. These became your operating system, your inner code. And now, as an adult, you walk through the world trying to build a new reality with old instructions. Can you see the conflict? You want abundance, but your code says scarcity. You crave love, but your code says rejection. You chase freedom, but your code says survival. And so, your external life becomes a mirror, reflecting not your conscious desires, but your subconscious signature. The quantum field is exact. It responds to vibration, not vocabulary. This is why so many feel stuck, because they try to change the mirror instead of changing the face in the reflection. They change jobs, they change partners, they change cities, but the field remains the same because their signal remains the same. But here is the miracle. Just as your subconscious was programmed, it can be reprogrammed. The code can be rewritten. You are not stuck with the energy you were handed. You are not bound to the beliefs that were planted. You are not destined to repeat the same story. You can choose again, but it requires going deeper than thought. It requires shifting the feeling, the emotion, the vibration, because that's what the subconscious responds to. Not logic, but experience. Not data, but frequency. This is where ancient wisdom meets modern neuroscience. This is where breath becomes the key, where meditation becomes medicine, where visualization becomes technology. When you drop into theta, whether through deep breathwork, guided meditation, binaural beats, or stillness, you open the portal. And in that space, you can whisper new truths into the quantum field. I am already abundant. I am already loved. I'm already whole. At first, it may feel like a lie. But remember, the subconscious doesn't care about truth. It cares about repetition. It cares about emotion. It cares about coherence. Say it once and doubt it, nothing changes. Say it with certainty, again and again, while feeling the vibration as real, and the field starts listening. This is how you shift timeline, not by waiting, but by becoming. And as you begin to vibrate at this new frequency sincerely, consistently, your reality shifts in kind. People around you change. Opportunities emerge. Old blocks dissolve. It's not magic, it's mechanics. The mechanics of the quantum field, obeying the law of coherence. This is why ancient teachers spoke in mantras, why prayers are repeated with rhythm, why breath is synchronized in rituals across every culture. Because they understood long before the language of science that to change the outer, you must recalibrate the inner. This isn't wishful thinking, it's energetic alignment. And the deeper truth, the subconscious isn't just your mind, it is your access point to the field. It is the antenna through which you commune with everything, with all that has ever been, with all that could ever be. So now the question becomes, will you leave that antenna broadcasting old programs? Or will you retune the signal? Because you are not here to live out someone else's frequency. You are here to remember your own, to vibrate with the clarity of a soul awake, to send a signal into the cosmos so strong, so coherent, that the universe itself must respond. So listen closely. You are not broken. You are broadcasting, and you can choose what to send. Right now, right here, because the field is always listening, and it responds to you. Now that you know the subconscious is the signal, the question becomes, how do you change it? Not through force, not through intellect, but through vibration, because your subconscious doesn't speak English. It doesn't speak logic, it speaks energy. And if you want to alter your reality, you must first alter your frequency. Let's begin here where every transformation begins, with emotion. Emotion is not weakness. It is not chaos. It is data. It is energy in motion. It is the fuel that powers your signal. And here's what most people don't understand. You don't attract what you think. You attract what you feel. This is why affirmations sometimes fall flat. Because saying, I am abundant while feeling fear sends a scrambled message. The field doesn't hear the words. It hears the vibration. You can't trick the universe with pretty sentences, but you can speak fluently through resonance. So how do you shift your feeling? You embody the state of your future self. Now, don't wait for the money to feel wealthy. Feel wealthy now. Don't wait for the love to feel loved. Feel loved now. Don't wait for the freedom to feel free. Feel free now. Because when you feel the emotion before the manifestation, you collapse time. You signal to the quantum field, this is who I already am. And the field, always listening, begins to reflect that identity. This is what Dr. Joe Dispenza means when he says, you have to become it before you see it. But how do you do this consistently? You create rituals, not routines. You create resonancy, not repetition. Start with breath. Your breath is the bridge between mind and body, between thought and feeling. When you breathe consciously, deeply, rhythmically, you signal safety to your nervous system. And safety is the soil where transformation grows. Then move into visualization, but not as a fantasy, as a rehearsal. Close your eyes. See the life you desire. See it in color. Hear it. Touch it. Smell it. Step inside of it as if it were already real. And then feel. Feel the version of you who already lives that life. The confidence, the peace, the excitement, the relief. Let it flood your system. Let it rewrite your chemistry. Because here's what science now confirms. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. It fires the same neurons. It releases the same chemicals. It believes you. And when your inner world believes something, your outer world begins to shift. This is the foundation of subconscious reprogramming. Now, take it deeper. As you enter these states, use emotionally charged affirmations, but not passively declare them. With tone, with breath, with conviction. I am already aligned. I am already worthy. I am the frequency of abundance. I am the signal the universe responds to. Let these words become cellular, not just Herbutfeld. And then act, because vibration without movement is incomplete. You must take aligned actions that match the new frequency. If your future self is healthy, move your body as if it is sacred. If your future self is prosperous, invest your time with intention, not fear. If your future self is expressive, speak your truth now. These actions are not about proving yourself. They are about proving your vibration. You're showing the universe, I believe so fully in this new identity. I no longer wait for evidence. I act from it. And the field responds, not always instantly, not always as expected, but always in alignment. Sometimes the shift begins with synchronicities. A book falls off a shelf. A message arrives from a forgotten friend. A stranger says exactly what you needed to hear. Sometimes it comes as resistance. The old life pushing back, not to stop you, but to test your signal. Will you revert or recalibrate? Because every time you hold your new vibration, especially in the face of doubt, you anchor it more deeply. You show your subconscious, this is safe, this is true, this is who I am now. And slowly, the field starts bending around you. Not through force, but through frequency. You are becoming the resonance of your vision. And that resonance is building momentum. Remember, change doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency. Small daily alignments. Tiny upgrades in thought, in feeling, in behavior. Over time, they shift your baseline frequency, and your baseline becomes your broadcast. This is not a one-time event. It is a lifestyle, a sacred discipline, a devotion to your vibration, because your life is not responding to your potential. It's responding to your pattern. But patterns can be rewritten, and frequencies can be retuned. Right now, you are the antenna, you are the signal, you are the field. And when all three align, you become a magnet, you become a mirror, you become the miracle. So don't wait, don't wish, resonate, because the moment you do, life begins to reflect who you truly are. And that is how you remember you were never separate to begin with. You'll know the shift is happening when the universe begins to whisper back, not in language, not in logic, but in synchronicity. A song plays with lyrics that match your secret thought. A number repeats so often it no longer feels random. A person enters your life at the exact moment you need them, and you start to feel it not. Just see it, that something is listening. The quantum field has begun to mirror your frequency. These aren't coincidences. They're conversations, and the universe has always spoken in this way. Not through words, but through alignment. Have you ever experienced a moment so precise, so impossibly perfect, that it felt like the scene was scripted for you? That's not an accident. That's the field in motion, responding, rearranging, entangled with your signal. It starts subtly. You think of someone, and they message you. You imagine an opportunity, and an email arrives. You feel a shift, and your external world begins to move. These are quantum signs, and they are proof that your inner frequency is becoming your outer experience. The mystics called this resonance. Carl Jung called it synchronicity. Today, it's being explored as non-local consciousness, the idea that your awareness is not confined to your body, but distributed across the field. When you begin to live in alignment, you tap into this non-local intelligence. You become part of a feedback loop between thought and reality. It's no longer you watching the world. It's the world echoing you. And what's more, this field doesn't only echo your desires, it echoes your connections. Because just as particles can remain entangled, so too can souls. You felt it before, that instant recognition. Meeting someone for the first time and knowing them, not through memory, but through frequency. You were entangled before the conversation, before the meeting, before this lifetime, perhaps. These are quantum soul bonds, and they are more common than we've been led to believe. Twin flames, soulmates, divine counterparts. All of these are names we give to something science is only beginning to understand. That consciousness can entangle, and once entangled, it transcends time and space. This is why you can feel someone's sadness from across the globe, why you dream of them and wake up to a message, why you sense something is wrong, and it is. Because energy has no borders, And entanglement is not a theory. It is a reality woven through your every relationship. Even places can become entangled with your energy. You walk into a city for the first time, and it feels like home. Or a location makes your skin crawl, not because of anything visible, but because of the resonant imprint left behind. Every thought, every word, every intention leaves a frequency behind. This is why ancient temples feel sacred, why cathedrals feel heavy, why forests feel alive. The field remembers. And as you begin to reprogram your subconscious, as you align your frequency with love, abundance, and truth, you begin to tune into the remembered field. You start walking through life as if it were a dream you are awakening inside of. You notice signs, you follow nudges, you trust your intuition, and the more you trust, the louder the signs become. Not because the world is changing, but because you are. Your inner lens clear, your intuition sharpens, your connection deepens, and suddenly, you no longer feel lost. You feel led. This is the true path of awakening, not to follow a guru, not to memorize a doctrine, but to listen to the subtle frequency of your own soul broadcasting through the field. Because once you align, the entire universe aligns with you. Opportunities accelerate, healing quickens, manifestation becomes natural, not forced. You don't chase, you attract. You don't beg, you emit. And you begin to understand that you are not just part of the universe. You are an instrument of its expression. You are the song it sings when it wants to feel, when it wants to heal, when it wants to remember itself. So if you've been seeing the signs, the numbers, the coincidences, know this: you are not crazy. You are not imagining it. You are not reaching. You are receiving, because the field is always listening. And now, finally, you are too. This is not the end. This is the activation. There is a secret the mystics always knew, a truth buried beneath every sacred text, every ancient symbol, every whispered prayer under moonlight. And that secret is this: the universe does not respond to desire. It responds to certainty, not to longing, not to hoping, but to being, to the frequency of a soul so aligned, so embodied, so sure, that it no longer asks when, it simply knows it already is. Because in the quantum field, there is no future, there is no past, there is only now. So the question is not, when will it happen? The question is, can you feel it now? Not as a fantasy, not as a wish, but as a vibration so true, the field cannot help but mirror it back to you. This is the final key, the highest frequency, the gateway from seeker to creator. Because once you enter this state, once you surrender the how, release the when, and embody the what is, you move beyond manifestation. You become manifestation itself. Think about it. The moment you ask, where is it? You emit a signal of absence. The moment you feel, not yet, you vibrate with lack. But when you know it is already yours, not because you see it, but because you feel it, you collapse the field into form. It's not about pretending. It's about vibrating from a deeper truth than your five senses can perceive. This is what all the spiritual masters taught. When Jesus said, ask and it is given, he didn't mean beg. He meant declare. He meant believe so deeply in the unseen that the seen has no choice but to reflect it. When Buddha spoke of non-attachment, he didn't mean apathy. He meant trust. He meant the art of releasing control, because you already trust in the unfolding. When the mystics danced, when the prophets fasted, when the shamans entered trance, they weren't escaping reality. They were tuning it. They were vibrating into communion. And now, so can you. To live in vibrational certainty is to wake up already grateful. Not because something arrived, but because you know it's on its way. It's to act as if it's already done. To walk like it, speak like it, breathe like it. And when the test comes, because it will, when the old patterns rise again, when the world seems not to match your inner state, hold the frequency, because that's where most give up. They return to the old signal. They lose faith in the delay. And the field, always listening, says they are not ready. But you are not here to retreat. You are here to resonate through resistance, to maintain your coherence, especially when it would be easier to crumble. Because that's the moment your subconscious gets the message. We're no longer playing small. That's the moment the test becomes testimony. That's the moment the field bends in your favor. So how do you live in this certainty? You root yourself in 4 sacred truths. The first is belief without evidence, not blind, faith-informed frequency, knowing that what you feel is more real than what you see, because the unseen creates the see, not the other way around. The second is gratitude before arrival. Gratitude is the vibration of already having. It's the energetic signature of I receive. When you thank the universe before the miracle, you invite the miracle home. The third is detachment from outcome, not indifference, but trust, not giving up, but giving over to the intelligence of the field, to the divine orchestration beyond your mind's control. And the fourth is aligned action. Action not from desperation, but from knowing, from clarity, from coherence. Act as the future you, now. Live from the vibration of the life you are calling in. Not later, not tomorrow, now. Because the moment you do, reality begins to mirror you. Not because you manipulated it, but because you matched it. This is the great reversal, the sacred inversion. You no longer chase what you want. You become the version of yourself who already has it. And when you do, you discover the most ancient truth of all. You never had to go get the miracle. You only had to stop vibrating against it, because it was already entangled with you, already waiting, already woven, already yours. So take a breath, feel into this moment, and say it with me now, not as a wish, but as a remembrance. I am already aligned. I am already free. I am already abundant. I am the vibration of the reality I choose. And the universe is listening. Now, you've heard the truth with your ears. You felt it stir within your heart, and you've remembered it with your soul. But the time for remembering is over. Now is the time to become. Because the purpose of awakening is not to know you are energy. It's to live as energy. This path was never about information. It was always about transformation. And the final step is embodiment. So I ask you now, will you return to the old patterns, the static noise of who you were told to be? Or will you rise into the luminous signal of who you truly are? This is your moment. This is your frequency. And this is your field to command. You are no longer a seeker of miracles. You are the miracle. You are the broadcast. You are the vibration the universe has been waiting for. And the only thing left to do is transmit. Transmit through thought. Transmit through action. Transmit through breath and stillness and love. You are no longer separate. You are entangled with the all. So speak like it. Walk like it. Create like it. Feel it now, not later. Not when the evidence arrives. Now. Because the field does not respond to time. It responds to resonance. And when you choose to live from vibrational certainty, to feel the life you desire before it arrives, you collapse distance, dissolve delay, and bring the future into the now. So, here is your final activation. Repeat it not with doubt, but with knowing. I am already aligned. I am already free. I am already abundant. I am not waiting. I am not searching. I am becoming the frequency that reality responds to. And as you walk back into the world, watch what begins to shift. Watch who enters. Watch what flows. Watch how the quantum begins to whisper back to you through signs, synchronicities, and sacred echoes of your own vibration. Because you've changed the signal, and the field always reflects the signal. Now, before we part, I want to invite you deeper. If this message stirred something ancient within you, if you felt the call to remember, to realign, to rise, I want to hear from you. What did you feel? What shifted inside of you as you listened? Have you experienced the signs, the synchronicities, the subtle ways the universe has already been speaking? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters here. Your experience may be the sign someone else needs to hear. If you found value in this message, if it helped you awaken just a little more, please like this video to amplify the frequency. Subscribe to Path to the Unknown, to journey deeper into the unseen truths that are shaping our reality. This is not just a channel, it is a gathering of souls who remember. And now I leave you with one final question. If everything you feel, think, and believe is shaping the field around you, what kind of world are you broadcasting? What reality are you unconsciously instructing the universe to create? And more importantly, what would happen if you chose, right now, to send a different signal? The power is yours. The moment is now, and the path leads to the unknown. Step forward, broadcast clearly, become the frequency, and so it is.